Hi everyone. This week's readings was about programs and policies for immigrant bilinguals. It is very important for educators who work with English language learners to understand the current language and education policies and the challenges that come with it. As far back as history recounts, language diversity was a very important part of the United States of America. This led to many states supporting formal tutoring in foreign language in schools. There were laws and policies that allowed bilingual education, and language restriction was only evident usually as a result of discrimination. Although there was a long history of language diversity, it was not until 1980 that the United States had a Department of Education. Prior to that, all matters concerning education was handled by the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. This allows for each state to handle their own education policies. The federal government responsibility is to ensure that citizens were educated and able to earn a living, thus enabling them to pay their taxes, and that citizens would exercise their franchise to vote. This did not give them much input in the policies that affect education because education was at a state level. In order for the federal government to have a greater impact, they implemented federal funds that they would extend to these states to fund their educational department or to assist in funding their educational department. Upon accepting these funds, then this would give them an input in how the schools are run. Thus, they were able to implement government federal laws and policies that helps in the bilingual minority groups development. During the civil rights movement, educators and policymakers became more sensitive to the needs of bilingual minority groups. In an attempt to address the language restrictions among this group, the National Education Association came about. This organization was very instrumental in a report that the indivisible minority had great challenges, and these invisible minorities were the people who came to this country and were learners of English language, predominantly Spanish speakers. As a result of this organization, the National Education Association, they were able to abolish the rule that stated that instructions for tests should be done in English only. Instead, they were able to implement rules that allows children to be instructed in their own languages. This also helps further to channel other changes that came about. There were changes which allows, the No Child Left Behind Act. It also allows for equal opportunity for ELLS students and policies that were in place to ensure that the schools meet the needs of all English learners students. Students have the right to be educated in their home language, and students' home language must be respected. These were some of the changes that were brought about after the civil rights movement and the coming together of the National Education Association. This week's readings were very informative, very facts filled, and so for me, it gives me a wider perspective of the challenges that English language learners face. And I am happy that there are policies and laws in place to protect them from discrimination. Thank you.